Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 10 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We start with a startling assessment of Idaho's healthcare system. Governor Brad Little today saying the system is, quote, teetering on the brink as the number of COVID hospitalizations continues to surge. Little also said that he's on the verge of enacting what is called the crisis standards of care, and today he reactivated Idaho National Guard members to help the state's overwhelmed healthcare workers. Little says enacting crisis standards of care means that beds, nurses, ventilators, and other care could reach a point where they'll be prioritized for those most likely to survive. And listen to this. As of today, Governor Little said there are just 4 standard adult ICU beds available in the entire state.
Idahoans in need of health care could receive a lesser standard of care or may be turned away altogether. In essence, someone would have to decide who can be treated and who cannot.
Up to 150 guardsmen will now help provide support for medical facilities, perform screenings and lab work to help reduce the burden on nurses and on doctors. Meantime, Kootenai Health has a new high of COVID patients currently hospitalized since the start of the pandemic. 97 people now hospitalized there, 35 of which need critical care. In all of North Idaho, 102 people are hospitalized due to the coronavirus, according to the health district. 254 cases were reported today alone, and 15 new deaths were also reported. Things not looking much better in Spokane County. In total, 221 people hospitalized in the county due to the virus. That's also according to the health district. 292 new cases were reported today alone, and 3 new deaths were also reported. As cases surge, the Washington State Fair will be requiring people to wear a mask the entire time due to, quote, unprecedented levels of COVID-19. The Tacoma-Pierce County Health Department announced a health order which goes into effect on Friday. That order makes the mask requirement a condition of the fair's operation. The order applies to those who are 5 years old and older. However, the fair will not require proof of vaccination. For the first time in more than 2 decades, a new high school is opening up in Spokane County, and tonight students and families got their first look at the brand new Ridgeline High School that's set to open next week in Liberty Lake. KREM 2's Morgan Trout got a tour of the school, and she also asked parents what they think.
And we're here today, just 2 years later, almost to the day, getting ready to welcome students into the new Ridgeline High School.
2 years and roughly $90 million later, construction is done and Ridgeline High School is ready to welcome students and staff.
It looks like a college. I mean, it's spectacular.
Janet Schmidt's husband is a teacher here. She was stunned by the 60-acre property. She was among the hundreds of community members who gathered to celebrate the opening of the Central Valley School District's newest school.
We're all just kind of in awe on how it's turned out and how our kids are coming on campus now and they're doing their activities and their athletics, and we're a school, and Ridgeline High School is here.
The comprehensive school is the first one built in our area in more than 2 decades. I was there to tour it earlier today, and I was there for the ribbon cutting ceremony tonight. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. The school has been in the works for 3 years now. Back in 2018, the Central Valley School District passed a levy to add an additional high school. Principal Jesse Hart says with all of the region's growth, Central Valley and University High School were both getting too crowded.
My kids, as one went through U-High and one went through CV, it was packed. Yeah, bumper to bumper.
So a new school reduces overcrowding at all 3 high schools. This is especially important right now.
I would say we're more readily able to accommodate social distancing guidelines from the health district.
The building is expansive with floor-to-ceiling windows all across the campus. Hart says they specifically wanted more light for students and faculty because many classrooms simply don't have too many windows. Hart says the lighting helps open up the space and can also benefit students' mental health.
It's long overdue. We needed it desperately.
After years of planning and construction, Ridgeline High School is ready to welcome its inaugural class when school starts 1 week from today. In Liberty Lake, Morgan Trout, KREM 2 News.
And speaking of schools, some inland Northwest school districts are starting class tomorrow. Cheney Public Schools, Medical Lake School District, Deer Park School District, and the Riverside School District are starting classes tomorrow. All of these districts will start at their normal times except for Liberty Lake School District, which will start an hour late, they say. Well, it is the end of an era for Gonzaga. After nearly 35 years with the school, athletic director Mike Roth's last day was officially today. When Roth started with Gonzaga athletics, he said he wanted to win in 3 areas: the classroom, community, and in competition. Roth served as the men's assistant basketball coach from 1982 to 83, and in 1987 became the assistant director of athletics. Then in 98, he became the full athletic director for Gonzaga.
If what I did as athletic director had a positive impact on even just one person, then I was successful. And hopefully it was more than one. And it wasn't because I was trying to make an impact as much as I was just trying to do the right thing.
During Roth's time as director of athletics, he earned 73 NCAA tournament or championship appearances, and 31 student athletes have been named All-Americans. Quite the impact there. In other news, residents in storm-battered Louisiana are trying to pick up the pieces after Hurricane Ida, and they are doing it in the blazing heat. The powerful storm knocked out much of the state's power grid, and officials are warning those outages could last for a month in some places. Evan Irani is on the ground today in Louisiana, where residents have been waiting for days for basics like gas and food.
In Laplace, 30 minutes outside of New Orleans, patience is running low.
I wish I would have left before the storm. Maybe everything would have been a little better.
Blocks away from the governor as he spoke, a line of dozens of cars. The rumor around the neighborhood that this independent gas station would reopen today.
I don't have gas in my car. Everywhere I went at, it's nothing. I'm scared I'm gonna break down. And every time we pull up to a gas station where they say there's resources, it's no gas.
Just over 48 hours ago, Hurricane Ida hit New Orleans as a Category 4 storm. Now residents say government assistance is slow to arrive.
It's like disturbing, very disturbing.
I never thought it would have been this bad. I mean, we would have left if we would have knew it was been this bad.
Government, we don't see nothing yet.
The people we spoke with say they believe elected officials could have done more to prepare for a moment like this, and without that support, they say they're relying on businesses like this to help them. Why are you helping people?
Well, that's what you do, man. Neighbors help neighbors.
Y'all, this is a catastrophe.
In front of the gas station, desperation.
I ain't eating nothing in about 3 days.
Everything is in a frenzy at this time. It's chaotic.
Behind it, the owner and his friends trying to hook up a generator. About an hour later, the gas station is up and running, open for business.
We got 17 up. We wait down here for the longest. We got it going. How about that? Everybody's happy. Man, 10 hours. We've been out here 10 hours trying to get gas. We just not got here.
The governor of Louisiana spoke in a press conference earlier today. He says there is currently no timeline on when power will be restored or when the debris will be cleaned up across the state of Louisiana, but he does say that crews will be working around the clock until that work is done. In Laplace, Louisiana, I'm Evan Irani, KREM 2 News.
All right, let's talk weather now here. Tomorrow marks the start of meteorological fall in the inland Northwest, and the cooler temperatures kind of starting to feel like it. Meteorologist Michelle Boss in the Outdoor Weather Center tonight. Michelle, 2 words we haven't heard in a while, at least locally: frost advisory.
Yeah, it certainly feels a lot cooler out here than it did yesterday evening, even with my jacket and long pants on. And temperatures were about 10 degrees colder in this afternoon than they were yesterday afternoon. Checking on temperatures right now, 59 degrees in Spokane, but look, it's already cooled down into the upper 40s in Deer Park, 46 in Sandpoint. Not too bad, Moses Lake near 60 degrees, mid-60s right now in Lewiston. But yes, frost advisory. Don't think we're going to have to worry about that here in Spokane in the city and then in Coeur d'Alene, but really those outlying areas, the more rural areas, could see some patchy frost as some of those locations see temperatures dip down into 30s. So the idea is if you have sensitive plants and you can protect them by bringing them in or covering them, that might be a good idea. Otherwise, things are relatively quiet across the inland Northwest, but we do have one area we're seeing just a few lingering showers. We have some energy moving through northeastern Washington, so we've seen a few showers and even a couple of thunderstorms. Just saw a couple of lightning bolts there. Move through portions of northeastern Spokane, just south of Inchelium, and then moving towards Chewelah area. Could see a few sprinkles during the overnight hours as that moves through. Otherwise, the rest of us are going to remain dry. Air quality has been right on the verge of good and moderate, so we're right at AQI of 50. Here's a look at the next 3 days. Fall-like tomorrow with highs in the lower 70s. A little warmer Thursday, 75, and sunshine for the start of our weekend. Highs near 80.
My goodness, look at that overnight low, Michelle. Thank you very much. All right, still ahead tonight, when we think schools, teachers comes to mind, right? But Spokane Public also pushing to hire more therapists and counselors. SPS, the only district in the state licensed as a mental health agency. Next, why the district is making that a priority. Plus, a motorcycle builder created a unique tribute to our nation's firefighters. We'll show it to you coming up later in the broadcast.